Rodd Duff, your host.
And I'm producer Barbie.
And together,
we bring you our podcast,
Insights and Straight Talk. And with that, producer Barbie and I are out. Hey, how you doing? Hey, already a couple people up aboard. Got a lot to talk about. I want to make sure my phone is off. You caught me a little off guard there. No, my timing was off. You didn't catch me. I did it wrong. Here, let's see if that didn't matter. All right, so morning, still morning technically. It's close. I kind of pushed it off a little bit today because there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. It's really exciting. I am on a constant high. You know, it's crazy because sorry, got a little disheveled there a little bit. So it's crazy because I always talk to. I love this show. One, it's a really great. Oh, I made that Michael Jordan right here. It's a really uplifting thing to hear and to receive and to use and implement all the information and the new ideas and the different approaches to ideas, and then again the things never yet discovered, which happens quite a bit. There's a lot out there for us to do, and the way this format is working out with you guys, your awesomeness as it just vibrates through the earth is something that's really starting to behold. Hey, listen. Oh, damn it, I had it. Ronaldo. Thank you very much. We were just talking, digital talking. As you guys know, or at least I made an announcement. Yesterday, I did the show did its first TikTok live. It takes, you can't just start a TikTok live. You have to go through certain parameters, let's call it. And this show has driven enough traffic to all these different other social medias we use that for marketing and so forth, that we've finally gotten to a point of reaching at least initial levels for different social medias for them to want us to do live. We already streamed all the other ones. I don't know anybody we're not streaming to except for TikTok. Still trying to figure out the whole Instagram thing. I got the stream keys down, but I can't find it. I don't know what's not. There's a step not falling in place, and I just haven't had time to spin to it. So, by the way, did you guys notice I shifted a little bit the angles, kind of playing around? But anyway, back to the point. TikTok Live. Yesterday I did the first TikTok Live, and in order to qualify for the next step, you're literally building a business in these things. I mean, that's what we're doing, right? It's a new world, but so as TikTok Live has now said, okay, here's this threshold, there are these things, and then they give you all this crap to do, different games and well, the kids love it, I'm sure. And I know TikTok is typically younger generation, although all my friends watch it and have, but anyway, it's a younger, I think, thing. And so there's all these things to motivate people to build up their time and do that stuff. I don't know how much motivation I'm going to need. Because one, I'm vain as hell, right? I like hearing my voice, just like I like hearing everybody's voice. But straight to the point, Ronaldo came on, or actually, as I was building you have to put things together and this and that and this and that. And when I did the first live yesterday, just people were flying in and there was all this data going around. If you've ever seen TikTok Live, you know that as people are coming in, they're either leaving hearts and stuff. And honestly, one of the reasons I'm really interested in this is because I've been saying we have reached the 6 month budget. I mean, we're really in good positioning, and I love all your support, and everything's going good. But with the expenses and everything, and winding down the company and canceling my last contracts, because I'm not gonna cheat on somebody else when I'm going full time, so to speak. Cheat on a company, a contract, and so to the point we. We wound that down. We gave all the notices to people and employees and all that. Took over a year and a half, and there's a lot of things behind it. But at the end of the day, I was able to pull out enough, or keep enough, I guess, and do some things to when producer Barbie and I sat down, put out a budget that says, okay, here we go. We got 6 months to get this thing to replace the other income. So the point being is that we're just starting to generate revenue here, that we've got guests now that want to pay, because we also, you see all the edits and stuff that we do, and it's not an arm and a leg, but it's also not anything coming in besides a little bit to kind of cover. It's extended that time slot we set. So we're at 6 months, or we're actually over 6 months, but we did better than expected. And so now, timing wise, is really exciting, because TikTok, I mean, all this we're working with, and I'll get into the sponsorship. I've had a couple people contact us. Well, I haven't had them. They have contacted us. A local food kitchen place right here in Aurora, which is, if you don't know where Aurora is, it's the next town over from us here in Oswego. Anyway, really exciting there. We put together a program for sponsorships, but as that goes, there is also at one of my old machinery businesses, we sent out the same information. So there may be some every once in a while saying, and today's show brought by. So in the meantime, trying to follow my son's great example, Brandon and Austin, but Brandon put his life together with multiple revenue streams. I actually got a pair of free sports socks today, because they want me to give the show to give what do you call it? Not a recommendation, but hey, I have these and they're great, and you send that information off to, in this case, the sock supplier, and there's some revenue generated from that. That's another trick that Brandon taught me. But all of this, I really have an interesting thought about TikTok being able to really take that revenue level to that next level, so I can get back to my grandkids. And yes, Ronaldo, damn it, I was doing that so good this morning. Maybe I've been talking too much. I'll drink some water. I can roll my R's, I swear. But I asked her, as I was setting up this TikTok thing. Yesterday was the first. We're going to do another one today. We have to do 3 within a week's period time of over 25 minutes. And so we have 7 days to get that done. That then qualifies us to be able to go 28 days, and also without having content that's restricted, blah, 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 blah. So I reached out to a couple people. First one was Ronaldo. And because she and I were talking about some things here on these shows, the morning coffees, and when guests are on and stuff, and we were talking about being able to moderate those questions. And I don't know how to do it on here, and I don't know if you can. I'm sure you can, but I don't know. And I don't know because I haven't really checked it out. My glass is not only half full, it's full, and that's a good thing. I love this stuff. But TikTok, sheerly just drives volume. And I'm sorry, I'm talking a little business here, but we're a family here. We're a community. We're in a place where we share ideas, and I'm having new life experiences, so I'm sharing them as well. And Ronaldo contacted me back and with a sticker, a happy a happy bear dancing sticker, and said she'd love to do it. And what happens there, I closed it down because if I open it up, it actually takes over the mic and the microphone. That's how powerful TikTok is. You guys saw I did an experiment the other day. Well, I was trying to take that up to take an image and send that to her social media so she knew what I was talking about. I assume she does anyway, but literally these people are coming in like it's like a little faucet, and then it's like a drip, 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 and they're going like crazy. I mean, you guys are active as hell. These guys are fanatics over there. So you can, as a moderator, you can pin something like, hey, you got to get to this for sure, because sometimes these things are going by so fast. You've got 4 messages before that you don't even see until the next ones are already gone by. I mean, you're talking, anybody on TikTok knows what I'm talking about. I don't want to eat a lot of time on that, but you can do different things within the subject, within the scrolling stream there, and basically have control of that. So I can have control of that. I'm allowed up to 30 moderators, which is wild. Well, I don't know. To me, it's wild because we're just getting started. But TikTokers with, I don't know what, a couple million thing, they probably need a couple moderators to keep up with that, so that it's not lost information. There's a tool there to also be able to put out information to another demographic, and I'm excited about that. And with people, great people here, our family, our community, and especially with Ronaldo, she's got a very good eye for a lot of different things. Very well educated. I just learned over time and knew right away how artistic. So I love the idea of being able to collaborate, however you want to put that accent, with people that build this community, build our family, because the more better we do, the more better the information that we can get out to you guys, man, that we can keep growing this message, keep this movement moving along. So with TikTok, there's so many different ways, and everything happens at such higher volumes. It's like, I don't know, what do you think is a high volume store versus a company, a town company store? It's a big difference. So I want to make sure we're set, because starting off, I mean, it doesn't matter. People are just coming in and saying, okay, who is this dude? What's he talking about? You and I, all of us, have built a relationship, and we know how that rolls. So right now, thank you, Ronaldo. See, I did a little bit there. The water helped. And then I'm going to go into some of the messages here. And I just wanted to come on and say, hey, the AI thing is driving hard. I sent out some notices to people on early enrollment, with being able to get special gifts, and just little things to add to that next level, because I want people that are going to dive in and be in that community. I want to talk to you folks. I mean, this is awesome, but it's kind of like, there's all sorts of descriptions I could use, but it's kind of like seeing perfection on the other side of a glass that you can't talk to. And I mean, typing's awesome. That's awesome. But I mean, you know what I mean, right? So let's, I never put you up. Sorry about that. There she is. Person of the moment, person of the hour, person of the show, person of the company. We are very excited about your support. We're very excited about what's happening. I think it's I don't know if you know, because I know you should. By happenstance, I did about a 40-minute thing yesterday, right after this show, which was what, 2 hours and 19 minutes or something like that. And then we just, okay, I got everything I wanted out. You guys are awesome, loving seeing all this stuff. I'm still trying to figure it out. Don't know what the hell I'm doing, but let's drive in. So that was 40 minutes yesterday. I have to do 3 at least 25-minute ones to get to the next level. But as that happens, there's like these stars or these gifts or these things, and you can really start adding a revenue source to the company, which obviously is the base, the ground is here. And then we want to continue to add at least a little bit, add some fencing around it, and so we keep everything going up instead of out. And I think that was a pretty good visual, I think. So moving on. Thanks again, Ronaldo. I chickened out that time. James Show podcast. You guys have been on here for the last few shows. I've noticed you. The answer is yes. First of all, I'm glad I brought that subject up. So the sponsorships. So there are two companies that we didn't really dial in the program as far as how we should do that, because I mean our shows. I mean we get 10, 15. Let's see. In the last 28 hours, I don't remember the exact number, but we've got like 28 hours. We're not there yet. 28 days. We've gotten 16,000 views, and I forget the watch hours and it keeps growing. People keep coming back and great questions and comments on the shows. Show improved that there's a loyalty. There's a trusted place to go to for information received in a way that loyalty continues to move on. Stay and become and support. And that's the most exciting thing happening right at this second, because hey, we got 100 people on. Thank you all. Thank you for coming. I'm going to get to your question here in a second, but that's when you know how the kind of high I've been on forever about this show and during the show, and this angle I don't like. I'm never in the center. I move around a lot though. So this show is receiving a loyal fan base. And that goes both ways, because we're both, I think, understanding the importance. When I say we both, I should say we all are understanding the importance of certain messages and the importance of bringing knowledge and knowledgeable and funny, enjoyable people to listen to for a couple hours, and not just kind of go through the mundane. This is a place where we're digging into the topic. So, I appreciate you wanting that, and somehow us coming together to you fulfill my fun. And, because I get information just like you day in and day out, but it's so wild because I get it. It feels like an adrenaline shot through a water hose all the time, because it's just this dialed in information. And now we're building relationships. And there's a point here now. I talk about the word crack every once in a while. I know it's a drug, but when that crack happens, you go from one state to the next. And we're there, we're getting there, because when you have a relationship, a kinship that that is feeding back and off of each other. I should say back and forth, but back and off, I like that too. Back and off of each other, back and from each other, is a sign that we're in the right direction, right? I mean, we're on the right path, which you don't know starting out. You feel, and then there's some acceptance, and you look at the world and go, "Whoa, wait a minute, folks, we got to get started like now and get going." And you know what? Everybody's jumped on. It's very cool. Okay, so James Show. Always fire topics. Thank you very much. That's I appreciate that. You have no idea. Is sponsorship open for personal brands too? Yeah, I mean, what we do is you'll get some information. There's like, stick your toe in the water if you want to try out, see how this works. And there's an explanation of the different things like we do here on this show, but at another level where we're not only mentioning, but we're helping to tie a company's brand together by watching a consistent. So our show's consistent. We go at least an hour every day, Monday through Friday, if not more and more, 2 hours every day. And in that time, a potential partner or potential customer is going to start seeing this consistency, which is important in building things, I've learned. And so anyway, yes, personal brands as well. And through that conversation, we find out, does it make sense or not? Because I got to keep my lights on. I'm old, but I've got a lot going forward. I don't see any reason to think this could be going on for the rest of let's see, where are we at? 80 years. I mean, it could, but there's a long road ahead, and that's freaking cool. I wish I would have kind of went on this path earlier, but would I have been ready for it then? That's what I've always asked myself. I've always asked, God, you hear about these stories. Oprah Winfrey didn't, become that Oprah Winfrey until she was after 60 or something. And then who wrote that book, that Harry Potter series? She was over 70 when she started that series. I only say that because it's not a comparison, because we're not doing anything beyond just freaking very cool right now. But the reason I bring that on is because I always think to myself, God, I'm so glad. I was educated in school, in college, in business. Usually people do business and finance, or business and marketing, let's say, kind of the longest road away from that, or business administration. I did business administration and theater. And you know what? I chickened out of theater because you don't just enter it and then you're done. I mean, you're talking about years later. I went to school. I was in theater. I was in plays. I was a model. I was again, definitely lesser than this level. Not elevating this level at all, but a kid starting out, and I also did acting. I did small stuff, a little risky business in the background thing, and some cool things. But then, and I was starting to get this and that and this and that, and then it became, if you know the industry, it's about you, judging you right up. Poof, you're not judging your work so much, especially in the beginning. Okay, what do you look like? Turn around. Okay, what's that? What's that? And then you get past that, and then it's like a personality thing. Is your personality viable? And I get it. I mean, you're coming in to produce a product for that business, whether it be a photo shoot or shot or in a magazine, or whether it be a movie or a commercial. That's their business. And that's how that business works, because it has to work that way. It's very visual, right? Well, you all know about the JR and the mask thing, right? Well, and if you don't, ask your neighbor over there. Anyway, not exactly the most confident person in the world. Yeah, I know, weird, huh? And then, so you're going on, and this inner, like, oh my God, I'm being exposed, and came out of that. That's the first time I started to realize that I can look back on it and point at, like, okay, that was the first action, that a major action that it took, because, and I didn't even know yet, the mask was on, no confidence, damaged, right? And then as you're getting a little bit older and working towards that, and still, pushing that boulder uphill, you start doing sales jobs instead of a restaurant job, right? And because now I'm getting older, and now got a family, safety. I mean, at that point, it's like boom, and then I didn't think about it. But what I always did is I marketed the companies I built. This show started off. I will get to your guys' question, folks. Okay, we're still in the same vein here. Good. I didn't know if this was going to be an AI talk or anything. I put the information in the description to drive it to TikTok, because I want you guys to drive traffic to TikTok now. But yeah, so even while I was building the machinery business over the last 30 plus years, started in 1989, started wrapping up about a year and a half ago, completely shut down to do this full time. What was it, like a month and a half ago, something like that? Canceled my last contract. Well, no, it's probably been a couple months now. But anyway, as that revenue stream was lowering, cutting all the contracts down, we had to kind of keep those budgets going. We still have expenses. I mean, my God, this place, I don't know, you'd have to ask producer Barbie, but it's like, I don't know, $2,800 a month, something like that. And then, home and car, and I mean, this business I could put in a garage in the backwoods, as long as I had water, air, and video link, or stream link. Well, food too, at least for the dogs. It doesn't really cost anything except for a little bit of electricity. The marketing costs, as I've already talked to you through the AI stuff, literally fractions of a penny. I've done entire marketing programs that in the past would have cost thousands of dollars, that cost me like $4.52, and that's a better product. And there's no reason and that's why I think utopia is coming. I'm sorry, I'm going back to TikTok, but I want to throw this in because it's important. That's why I really believe this, because if you start comparing things, how I say automation is going to bring, and robots and all that, AI is going to bring the cost of production, the cost of services, and the cost of products down so far. It's going to be basically nothing to have the same stuff we have now, but only better. Don't know what that looks like, because I'm not anything other than a very curious son of a gun. And when I see these costs of what marketing programs and also CRMs, let's go there. I talked about Salesforce. That was one of the first ones. I've been with them since 2014, and really built an awesome business off it because of all the automation. But are boosted, I should say. So you've got your level, you hit that, and then you go to here. We went from, 150K quarters in the beginning. we're good. So, marketing the old fashioned way, mailing, calling, emailing, and then I got into this automation system where people would click in, it'd send them an email. They'd click on the email. It knows that. It now sends them another one with a link that has your literature on it. That was that next step. And we immediately jumped to 3 million. And then you keep going and that next level is 5 million. And that's a different level of structure in a business for you guys that know business or even care about it. That 5 million is that next level, and the next level would be 12. So we're in that path, still, working more people, different structure, new operations, machinery, people building, cutting steel, bending, you're managing parts, $1.5 million worth of, inventory. And we're a small company, right? So anyway, so we were going there and we're continuing to head towards 12, harder and harder, more of a pain in the ass, more of me realizing what the fuck decision did I make? I mean, yeah, safety. Okay, safety. So going through all of that, I say, why did I start it now? Why am I on this journey now, which is completely different than it was? During the whole machinery business, I had this show. It was just called Insights. It was for marketing the business, and it was interviewing, or I call it interviewing, but never done it this way. It's always about having a conversation with somebody. Do it in shows. I've been to a number of PT Expo shows. Entire booths just interviewing people, walking through the thing, talking about the show right across from my machinery business. And so it was just a marketing thing, but it was really cool because we built up a lot of relationships with people and just talking about the show, because we weren't selling them anything in this booth. As a matter of fact, the camera's pointed away from the booth across the way, but indirectly you're pulling traffic over because they're noticing this stuff. Hey, I get to talk and tell what I think about things for no cost at all. So, but what I loved about it is it created that thing, that relationship with people, because now you're having interaction. You're not either trying to sell them or trying to convince them or trying to whatever. You're just chatting with them about an industry they're involved in, so they love. Ask them enough questions, and then they get that feeling, right? When you start talking about and having a relaxed conversation with somebody you know something about, that's an exchange, that's a vibe, that's a very cool thing. So yes, James Show, that was probably a 27-minute answer to your question. Absolutely. Leave your email address or contact us. You've got all our contact information. Love to pass back and forth a little bit of information, meaning what are you looking for kind of thing, right? Because I just want to help you out and I just want to keep the lights on. It's got to be a balance now. I've been running for 8-10 months or so, knowing a limited funds are there. I know this is going to happen, so I'm not concerned about it, but I do get anxious because I'm excitable, right? And I move around a lot. But I also, know that everything that I do in every part of my world is realistically a risk, that it's me or nothing. I mean, if it's just that next level. Anyway, so the next one, sponsorship. The sponsorship. I assume you're referring back to what we're talking about here, because I saw you put that up. I saw you pop up because out of the corner of my eye, you and I were just talking about here right now for the last 20 minutes or so. Or no, that was probably only about 8 minutes. The sponsorships, and I'm pretty excited about it, because what we are is we're bringing information to our our audience in this case, because no matter what, you're my family. We're compadres. We're a community. Then you add to that and say, hey, listen, like the local communities around here need to be lifted and informed, and they want their word out. Not necessarily to talk about their restaurant for a whole hour and a half, their background, how they get on the mission, that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about like little mom and pop shops, so to speak, that are just adding color to their layers. I can't. There are things you need to be able to. I want to help you. Just let me a little bit help me to help you. So yeah, sponsorships is something we're being. I told you, we've been asked by several people. Somebody wants us to wear their brand on the show, which I'm not doing at this point. Although I got some. I told you about the socks, right? And you know what? They're really freaking comfortable. They showed up. I didn't even. And that's what happens. I every once in a while I get a package now that I didn't know was coming, and it's from somebody what has been talking about. Hey, would you look at this? Try this out. Would you be willing to make a recommendation? And it's a different world. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so yeah, sponsorships. Mac Attram. Oh, by the way, yeah, I said your name, James. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything up here. Mac, how you doing, Mac? What's up, bro? How can we get more voices into this AI conversation? Hey, we're working on. Mac is. I'm glad you asked that question, because that's a lot of what TikTok's. We're on TikTok. I'm going to be reviewing the shows we have over here, just like I'm alluding to TikTok over there. We're not going to be a totally different thing. I don't even know if we have. No, I know we have a name. Ronaldo, I set that up day before yesterday. They accepted it. It's got like an image and it's got like a description. I think it mirrors, that description mirrors this, right? Because I can't. Well, I probably can, but I've only seen it, in your studio where they're designing the layout of that program. I can see it, but I don't know what it looks like somebody coming in. I didn't know that was a thing even, because I think anytime I've seen, it's just them talking, right? It's just an image of them talking. You click in and it's now live of them talking. I always thought that was about. But any of you guys and most of you are smarter than I am, if you can give me a heads up there, that'd be awesome. But to add more voices is very simple. Just, man, Matt, keep coming in. What's your opinion on this? What questions do you have on it? We're broadening our reach on this message, which is a part of the whole great middle class. The great middle class needs to be empowered. I mean, that sounds weird. And to me, it sounds weird because we shouldn't need to be empowered. We do need places to educate ourselves and improve our knowledge. Oh, I don't even have my. Dang. I like my mic in here. Mess that one up. All right. So you don't even have to be. I didn't even notice. I've been so into the show. You know how usually I'm trying to be aesthetically as best as I can be? I want to get out this. And by the way, I am going, and I believe, actually, I've already set up Ronaldo. God, I'm so scared of that word now. You know what? Can you pull up? You've got a couple of other social media names that you put. It's like those authors that use other names to do other different kind of posts. Can you change that to an easier one? I'm scared of your name now. I'm so intimidated by it now. I talk about it, every couple of shows. I hit it right and I'm just jumping for joy, and then I overthink it. Surprise, right? But as far as the voices go, AI voices go, entering this, we're starting that community. We send out some. I alluded to earlier. We sent out some announcements to people about early registration for the classroom, so we can get this. I want to get this community going, and doing that. And there's certain places to go for LinkedIn. Go to my LinkedIn profile, my personal profile, this business personal profile. That I have another personal profile that's, LinkedIn, I think, has, I don't know what do we have now, 5,000, 4,000, something like that, followers, and then a bunch of other friends and so forth. But on there, send me a message that you're interested. I'll send you the information on how to get that. We're going to do some special prizes and meaning like sending other things that are additional information about the topic of this or that. And anyway, it's all laid out there. So those, it's to everyone that we stream to. It's to Instagram. It's to LinkedIn, as they just said. It's to X, and then of course here. But leave a note, leave a contact information that you're interested in getting that seat, because there's only so many people we can have talking to each other at a time. The subjects are all about AI, and this is a big deal. And there's a lot of people asking about, like you are, Mac, how do we get more people in the conversation? So I always talk about us being on this precipice, and we are. And I think everybody's just like, can you feel the energy? Everybody just kind of getting ready and to bust through. And I feel it, but then again, is it just me? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Love the open chat vibe. Thank you, Allie. How can smaller creators support this community? How can smaller? We support each other. So smaller creators. Allie, what do you creators, right? There's a new term out now, I think, for just bringing all that together. Creatives, right? That's a real thing, real term. I've heard it a couple of times. But anyway, Allie, as far as that goes, contact me. I'm all over social media. Leave a note here. Make a comment on this show. Sorry, leave a comment. I was trying to think of other ways to do it too. My email is jr@imstri.com. I'm not going to leave it in the notes or anything, but the business email is jr@imstri.com. And then which was the machinery business. Now the blog has been, and you could see all the other blogs over there, videos over there, interviews I did. I flew all over the country, interviewing people, and actually all over the world. I've been to every continent except for have I been to Antarctica? I flew over Antarctica. And I've never been to Africa. So, where was I going with that? So as far as supporting each other out, you can also contact me at the shows, which I'm just starting to build. It has my book on there. Just as an advertisement, because I can't go back to I want to go back so bad. But I wrote a book, right? It's called What the Boop Happened When I Was in My 50s. And that kind of that name started. That name has been a working title. I don't know what the best one is. Somebody's going to tell me. And maybe that's it, because a lot of people really like it. Check it out. Rodd, RODDDUFF.com. That's the website. And again, I just started putting stuff together on there. One of the guys I interviewed earlier, Barron, the hippie, one of my friends, politically different than me, but we talk about politics, and it's really cool because it's conversations that are, sometimes on social media, I'll make a remark about something. I am who I am, and we advertise the show as straight talk. I'm not afraid of the conversations, and the only reason I'm not is because I'm curious, not judgmental. And it's amazing how many people on social media are just judgmental. And I'm not an obnoxious person. I mean, especially now when comments are made, and actually Ronaldo said, you shouldn't make those kind of comments on certain things. And so I have guidance. I have people. These are my people. Did you guys see that social media out there that I sent out a couple of days ago? It had my sons and their families, and there were flashes of certain people in there. You know who I'm talking about. And then the show all circle around, because it's like, it's so fun. You can, instead of taking a bunch of pictures and say, and then there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and then there's, you guys, a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so you put this out, and here's that same thing, but a hell of a lot more interesting. And the song or the overlay of text styled in there really tells a beautiful message about what's going on in your life, or what you want people to know about your life, or on the business side, what you want people to know about your business. So there's some really cool stuff out there. I'm sure everybody already knows that. But as far as the support, hook me up, or hook up with me. Sorry. Check out the websites. I'm going to be very shortly. I'm going to be embedding into both of those sites a couple of different things regarding both sponsorships and also being a guest on the show, or me being a guest on somebody else's show. We're starting to get asked a lot to be on their show, which is cool because it's a lot easier. I can just give my opinion. I don't have to think of what to say or what question to ask. I've done it a couple times. Kind of cool. I was concerned because I never Mask JR. I never used to want to talk about myself. And I am going to try and keep this to an hour, folks, because I'm going to have to do at least 25 minutes. And Ronaldo, I promise you I'd mention this. If you're listening, I hope you are. I assume you are. The show, I have to do at least 25 minutes. I'm going to give myself about 10 minutes to refill my water. Wow, I haven't even drank much water today. Kind of get everything redone, and I'm not redone. Set. I want to get better at TikTok, so I'm going to give myself. I opened the studio this morning, started working on it, but then I couldn't start the show until I shut that off, which there's nothing there now. But it's not a big deal to set up. I just don't know how to set up the imagery yet, so I'm working on that. I'll get good at it. I'll get at least as good as I am on this. I mean, that's fair. That's a fair expectation. So yeah, let's exchange information. RoddDuff.com. It's got an opening video. I'm going to have to redo a lot of that stuff. I just threw that up about a year ago when I started writing the book, just because I was trying to build a platform and did not have any clue of what to do. So as a marketing guy, I just went out and started throwing stuff out there and go doing this and doing that. Took a breath, and then I started sending queries out, and everybody loves the writing. I've got to send it to somebody. Asked me for one of the guests has a publishing company. They wanted me to send them that, but I still have to change the front. But I started getting feedback that, hey, this is awesome, this is great, and really love your writing, but and then there was that marketing pages. What is my marketing plan? You got to be able to sell yourself. How can you not sell yourself if you have a book that you're expecting to be sold? It's the same person doing the same things, right? There's different skill sets, but anyway, that's that business. So I'm really immersing myself into this business. I, I'm not getting into that. There's a whole nother side. I'm probably going to be getting back into some of the things I also did in the past, but this is where it is right now. Everything else, where it can fit in to create a fulfill, a better vibe, a whole life thing, I'm going to do it, but I'm not also going to be, I got to make sure our people, our message, our things aren't overloaded. People are always telling me, and I know you know who you are and others, that dude, don't burn out, man. Keep it up. And you can get just to that point where you're doing 2-3 shows a day, you're doing the marketing, you do this, and I don't exactly run with a slow motor, so it eats a lot of energy. I got to hurry. 9 minutes left. I'm not going to cut off right at 1 hour, but I'd like to be a little early so I can take a couple minutes and then get over and start on that. I'm really excited about that too. Getting in the pool, loving the weather's getting better, although it's raining out for the last couple of days. So everything. Here we go. Ali, if you need any more information, let me know. But I want to screw around with this dude right now. Love you, Ali. Thank you. Let's connect. Let's see what we can do. I'd love to. I don't know. You said smaller creators. What I don't know what kind of, like, I know what certain creators do because I know them. Not that I'm an expert on anything, but I know what I like, and I think I like the same thing as a lot of other people. So I draw on that. That's all. That even makes sense. There's my man, Bradley. I promised this guy, you haven't been on for a little bit there, but I told him anytime he shows up, because he was like knocking it out. I asked great questions and everything else. But I told him I'd give him a shout out. So Bradley, shout out, man. I think that's the first time I've given you a shout out when I didn't have a hat on. Producer Barbie doesn't want me wearing a hat anymore. At least while my head's bald. I like it. Feels better. It's a little bit better, but I still got to look at how bright that is. My God, isn't that crazy? Oh, by the way, TikTok, I think it's just like this. I think I don't even have to be as professional over there as I'm not over here. So do you think the AI community is really ready for open collaboration? 100%. They're already doing it. It's basically AI is growing a little bit faster than I don't know, maybe a lot faster than it normally would, because there's a lot of people collaborating and collaborating for the reason of it, not to, well, I'm sure there's both sides, but there's a hell of a lot of people that are writing free, code and throwing this code out here and giving it to you so that you can become better at that, because it's coming. So yeah, I mean, the AI community is definitely ready. There's always work to be done, and you're running at 10 times the speed that you've ever thought imaginable before. So there's that. But when you say a community, I agree. Yes, they are ready. If somebody is not in the community, or like some of relatives I know that are, in the same range as age as I am, that there's concern out there that there's a lot of people that aren't ready. And that's why we're trying to push this message and make the community bigger and bigger and bigger. Because the more there is, I mean, I think I'm great to listen to. I like it. That's another reason why I do this. But there's more people that know shit. That's why we have guests that come on. We had one the other day, that dude that built that 7-figure AI business. Really interesting, and he was really the show was really interesting, and go check it out. It's a couple of weeks ago, and it's called. He built a $7 million AI kind of business, and he's got more now. But a year out of college, $7 million. That I 7 million, 7-figure income. I don't know where exactly it was, but 1 year out of college, the company was already a 7-figure company. Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate you all being here. Let's see. Again, thanks, Bradley. Appreciate it. Anita, is AI transparency possible, or just a nice idea? You gotta help me with this one, Anita. Is AI transparency possible? What does transparency in AI mean? I mean, what? So I know what a transparency of a company mission. The transparency of their mission, the transparency of their story, the transparency of an administration. That I know that word and why that's asked. As far as AI transparency, are you saying that? Especially, I mean, here's an area that's interesting that might tie in here. I don't know your background, but when there's a big it's kind of easing out a little bit, but there's a bit of a concern for writers. I just talked about writing a book, for movie people, for voices, because people do, and for voiceovers in movies or all sorts of things. You could still tell the difference between a real person and an AI image. It's getting really good, but I mean, there's sometimes too much perfection, and that's a giveaway. We don't have to get into all that, but it is a nice idea. I believe that it's going to be forced to be not transparent, because, like I said, in the movie industry, in the film industry, in the music industry, and then of course writing. This needs to be a tool based out of business and then making life at home better. But it's going to be a tool that's going to compete in things, because humans are humans and businesses are businesses, and they want to make a business out of their business. However that works. I mean, you already see, for years you've seen McDonald's have those kiosks right in front of where you get in line to go ask one guy said, and I thought this was maybe a little overboard, but I'm not totally convinced he isn't right, because we were talking about what the future looks like going forward with AI. I am not going to do. Okay. I'm still going to be about 10 minutes, but I just want to kind of save myself, because I've been doing a lot of these lately. And, it's like a singer on stage, right? You're giving out that energy, but those guys they have like a muscle. You got to use it. I'm using it now, so I'm building it up, but I'm still weak. So not weak, but I get done and I just got to kick back for a minute, because there's so much absorption that happens, and that's a physical thing. So, I think there is, and I think it's going to be forced that way. Especially if that's the way you're asking the question. If I'm missing something, let me know. And guys, use the contact. By the way, another way to reach me, somebody was asking earlier. I was hesitant to give out certain numbers. I mean, we're just kind of growing. There's only so much I could. But my office, right here, where I'm talking about, the phone number, we're in Oswego, right off of Route 34. I'm starting to have to. I'm giving that out a lot now, actually, right now, because a lot of people are wanting to have a sample certain things. And so anyway, and if it's food, I'm never going to turn that down. Never. I love good food. I'm in Chicago. That's probably one of the only, and the people, I mean, it's Midwest. People are different in the Midwest, which I love about them. God, I'm so not comfortable with this angle. You'll see a different angle next. It's very tough because I try and line up because, at the end of the day, if you're talking like this the whole show, I don't know. I just don't think it looks good. Anyway, what was I talking about? So we have a phone number here in the office. My direct line is area code 630 dash 636 dash I shouldn't have done it this long. 630-636-7411. I know the last part because 411 information, right? 630-636-7411. I'm extension number one. And if I'm not there, I do have a forward thing that, anyway, call it. I'll get a hold of you. You and I'll chat if that's what you want to do. So yes, transparency it is, no doubt about it. I hope the show isn't very much. Yeah, okay, we're okay. Because this angle is dry. Maybe that'll no. I look up here and it looks good. I look down here and it doesn't look good. I don't know why. See, like that. It's too far on my screen. On this screen, it's okay. On this screen, it does not look okay. I don't like that. And that's where I read your stuff. But the camera, it looks okay. When that screen and that screen look okay, usually that one does. I don't know. Kind of whiny a little bit there, aren't I? So Clayton, how you doing, bro? How can sponsors benefit most from live stream partnerships like this? So again, send me some information. I'll send you information out. But to answer that question, one of the things I talked about earlier is, we have a community here. You come here for straight talk. You come here for information, and what we're looking to do is help people build across their own brand. If you get a consistent mention, say several times during the show, 5 days a week, 6 days, 5 days a week, sometimes 6, 7 shows during that week, at least an hour long. As you guys know, I want to make, I'm already over an hour. And then mentioning that, and then consistently over time, people are getting comfortable and recognize. I'm not talking. There's just it's the show, but we're just being able to identify because they're helping us out. We're helping them out, and just helping that identity be connected with us because we trust them. We this is information you guys deserve, and we're not going to turn the show into a thing because people want some other things. We're going to be able to do things that are pretty exciting and not go broke in the meantime. That's it. There's a couple of different things, but how people can really prosper off this is that brand recognition, that trust from people that, hey, this dude's a straight shooter. I mean, he's not BSing around. He's doing this freaking show for because he's an egotistical guy that likes to hear people's opinions about everything. It's a great place to come and get information. So when you team up with that and somebody comes in and says, hey, I trust this show, and this show says, hey, I trust you with my audience, that's a thing that really becomes something when look at it, we're growing every day. We're more watch time, more shows, more live people in the audience. I never sent that on. I didn't even mention that to somebody that we have. I'll have to change that. But anyway, there's a lot of very good. It's a very low cost way to have your brand be recognizable and trusted in a world that is just filled with noise and shouting and confusion, to be honest with you. So yeah, that there's a lot of things that somebody can benefit from, and I can give you loads of details. I don't want to spend a lot of time on a commercial here, which I love. Thank you. I appreciate that question, Clayton, and ask more. But yeah, there's a lot of benefit to it. There's a lot of reason people want to have their company name or their brand, their identity. You saw another podcast earlier saying about, what about the personal, more softer brands like a podcast or something, or somebody may have a writer, they have a website, they have a thing, and that's a personal brand. You're branding yourself, right? So, and obviously before we go anywhere, you got to chat with somebody, you got to see, feel, touch. This is about passing information that needs to be passed on. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, lot of benefits there. Hey, Barbie, producer Barbie, you saw the email, right? We'll talk about it in a little bit, but I'm also going on TikTok. I left a message for you about joining in on the commentary thing that I was talking about Ronaldo earlier. I'm allowed 30 of those, 30 or 33. I don't need that, but not now. I hope I do. It's like I always say, someday I hope we actually have a green room. That would be cool. I was on the show. I had somebody on the show the other. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday they were a radio host. It's funny. I've gotten several people that have like for CBS. So anyway, cool stuff. I'm just really excited about the way this thing's going. Okay, Matt Daly. Will creators eventually compete against AI for attention? That's kind of a crazy question. Well, first of all, a lot of creators, including myself, use AI. I mean, the best, I talked about a marketing program that I did for, that I've always, this will help. Sorry, this is just driving me nuts. No, I don't think it's going to help. Okay, I changed the angle. I moved the camera over because somehow I kept creeping over, and I was like 2/3 of, this table is, so my wingspan is that this table is wider than my wingspan and deeper than my wingspan. And I'm like 2/3 of the way over here. And I'm going, what the hell is going on? It's me. I know what's going on. I'm being me, but I changed that, which I thought was a good idea. And it seemed like it, but now that I'm doing this, it's like, I got to tweak that somehow. And I'm going to have to do that in between the break there because this is going to drive me nuts because I want to at least get better at, God, my eyes are so freaking baggy. I want to get better at the TikTok stuff. So yeah. So will they have to compete with AI for attention? So like I said, we use AI now. I mean, Jason modules do a lot of stuff that I use in this part of the daily show. Not to mention Whisper, not to mention CapCut. Which one is it, Ronaldo? CapCut, right? Whatever it is. Use it all the time because I mentioned being on a marketing program earlier that for the other company that I wound down a little bit ago. And that was a machinery business, steel and stuff, God, that's so weird. I lean this way here, and in my camera, it leans that way. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so maybe it's a camera angle thing. All right. Yeah. So imagine that you're trying to balance in between. I guess what I could do is when they're both on the same. Boy, that I just made myself more complicated there. You guys, come help me out, man. I'm getting a headache running around with this. So, will they compete though? Is the question. Trying to think how they would compete because AI is a thing, right? And a person or a company initiated by a person have to use AI or initiate AI. Yeah. So there's going to be these things going on. It's not like AI just runs around and sees opportunities, AI, and says, "Oh, I'm going after these creators here. I can do a better job than they can." Well, those creators are using AI. So, Matt, I'm just trying to dial in here. Now, if you mean here's okay, AI and automation to me, and to a lot of people, now believe that the little guy, let's say the small company doing whatever, building whatever, that competes also in an area that has in an environment that has a very large players in whatever that business is. AI is giving, to a degree, me little guy the ability to fight with the big guy in that market and be much more successful because now we have a lot more tools than we ever did before. You add to that the fact that we have communities that now educate where only large companies where they could only have the amount of information available to you today. So if you mean, will that now give back, say in the creator world, I'll tell you who will be creating or competing is like I said, actors and this and that. There's a big thing going on. It has been going on for a year or two now. And it won't be stopping anytime soon. So, no, I mean, directly, especially you gave me an out here because you say creators. Creators, as I look at it, I mentioned earlier, there's a new term out that kind of brings all create. So singers are creators. Technically, podcasters are creators, I guess. Writers, authors, poets are creators. Ronaldo is a creator. And everybody is a creator, but there's an industry, let's call it. Singers. I don't know if I'm missing it. Radio hosts. I don't know. No, that wouldn't be right. That's not a creator. But that there's a creator, and that's singers, writers, content, poetry, that kind of stuff. That's now being called to wrap everybody in as a creative. That person's a creative. Now it might be a singer, might be a writer, so that creatives more than likely, although they're already using it, so it's a tough one, but there is points in time where maybe a company will be able to eliminate a creative person they hired to create stuff. Now, what will be competing is the way creatives, and I'm just using that, right? Stay with me on that, creatives. It's not, I'm not just being fascinated or hooked by a word, but it makes this easier because I think the creatives is the only area that Matt, that AI will have an effect. It'll have a huge effect across the board, but potentially in the creatives world, it'll have an effect that it has the potential to have as much of a negative effect as the other side of that. That's something the courts and all sorts of things are going to start following out. And it's going to be interesting to find out how that kind of plays out. So, Matt, I hope that answered your question there. As far as Papa, no, you do. You're usually pretty. Oh, I knew you'd be here on a TikTok thing. Yeah, you just got that vibe. I've seen you a few times. Name sounds like you're maybe a singer or something. I don't know. I try and play around with that side. While what role do you think TikTok Live will play in AI engagement? It already is. I mean, well, actually, it's not. I mean, when I think of TikTok, it's a kids thing, and you see TikTok on there and the little girls dancing and they got 1 million followers and that's all they do. Hey, when I was young, I sneak in and catch my dad's Playboy magazines he hidden under the bed. At least that's a story I used to show. Okay, but I don't see any AI in that. Now you look at like true actual creative is somebody like Ronaldo, right? I point to her because I know she's here. I see a lot. We all see a lot of this, but that's an AI. Her story theme of each story has a good portion of AI and doing these awesome things and wrapping her own pictures behind an image that explodes and meanwhile a song is playing to follow that thing. That's in the old days, that was a Paramount studio spending 4 months and $2.5 million to create that clip. Today there's a lot more involvement in say TikTok, say any of the social medias, those creatives being able to utilize tools. I mean, go back 10 years and these were all platforms. Let's say go back 8 years. The difference then, or even 6 years, the difference then, I mean, literally go back a couple of years, but let's get a mass look, a snapshot of a look. I'd say as early as 6 years ago today, you look at TikTok and the stuff going out on TikTok compared to what's going out on TikTok now, right? I mean, I'm in the social medias. I'm playing in the fun of entertainment day in and day out, and it's my job. You know how we say, find something you love to do and make it your job. It took me 60 some years to do it, but I found it. So yeah, I think it'll play a big part, big role in engagement. All right, here's my team coming up on the end. Noni, okay, yeah, but change it. Yeah, I like that one. Do that one. That one's easy. I'm comfortable with. It's kind of a grandpa thing. Can you? Because it's easier. And I don't have to be scared every time I mention, I comment about you. I get scared. Okay. Yes, I know. It's a flower from Hawaii where I grew up. And my sister was born. I never asked you what my sister was born on the main island. My favorite is Maui. That's a beautiful island. Anyway, they're all beautiful. So anyway, yeah, okay. Noni. But you gotta put in your name if you don't mind, because I don't know if you can or not. But it just would be much more comfortable because I know when you're there, and then I know I want to say something, whatever your comment is. But going into it, I'm like, okay, how do you say it? Ronaldo. See, I know I can do it. I know that was overdone. I'm just screwing around. All right, producer Barbie. Sponsors can benefit. Oh, thank you. You know what? I should have looked at you. See, sponsors can benefit from advertisement and creating visibility in their cause, increasing plus. Yeah, I mean if you look at it, we did a breakdown on what it is, like the investment stuff and doing that. If you break it down, you're getting your name, the company name or your name with. Mentioned 3 times in a show that goes at least an hour. That has how many, several hundred at least, maybe thousands of people, and then 5 days a week, and then 4 weeks a month, and then on top of that, we're pushing out social media. We're just trying to extend those services so we can blend in more, so to speak. I am 20 minutes late. So I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. I got to get set up. I've got to go get some water. I know I got water here, but I got a headache now. And I just love you guys. I can't stop talking. Why don't you put Producer Barbie on there? I know that's your initials. I'm just kind of complaining today, aren't I? I know I've always liked that, but you're Producer Barbie, except on the business side out here, because whenever we talk to people, it's your name, your full name. Sorry. So at that, this is Rodd Duff. I'm your host, and right there, take a look. BSR, Rodd Duff, and producer BSR are here for you every single day, and going to be heading over to TikTok. I think you didn't put it in there, but I think it's my TikTok is Rodd Duff 405. I'll come back tomorrow. I'll actually look at it. I've had it for a while. I just haven't done anything. Now that I gotta run it as run it as a business, I gotta actually pay attention to that now. And so I'm out.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, Producer Barbie and I are out.